God bless you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
Yes, he's leaning in somebody's direction.
My
Amen.
direction, Lord. Thank you. I receive. My direction. Yes.
Can you turn this mic off? Me over there?
Yes.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Turn this one over. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. It should be blinking. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
All right.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yes.
To God be the glory.
Hallelujah.
Feedback.
Yes.
Let me fix this feedback.
Have your way, Holy Spirit. It's gone.
Yeah, by the time he hit the stairs, it went away. Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah. All powerful.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
Such a blessing and honor to be in the house of the Lord this morning. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. It's good to be seen. Amen.
Yes.
Some people came in the house of the Lord, they were wrong there this morning, but we're able to have the activities of our limbs and be able to see and to be able to praise God because He's an awesome God, a mighty God. Amen. 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 I'm so excited because today we're going to start our new series, What's in Your Bag? What's in your bag? I know a lot of you all, y'all looking up here and you're wondering why we have these props, why we have these bags up here. The problem is a lot of us have bags and we're carrying them, we don't even know.
Right.
Come on.
A lot of us are carrying excess baggage and being charged on it and being delayed.
That's right.
Jesus.
You can identify.
Come on.
So today I just want you to take a didactic walk with me
Come on.
through the book of 1 Samuel. Through the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 21 and 22. And while you're standing to your feet in reverence of God's word,
Yes,
use
Lord.
your smart devices, your Big Peter Bible, or you can read right over your head right here and read the scripture. I'm going to pray while you all are looking for the word. Dear most gracious and loving Father, we first and foremost want to thank you for today, dear God. This is the day that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Father, we ask that your word go forth and do what you purpose to do, and it will not return void. As the grass withers and the flower fades, your word remains forever. And the people of God says, Amen. Everybody got it? Y'all ready? All right, let's go to work. Then he brought each family of the tribe of Benjamin before the Lord. And the family of the Metrites was chosen. And finally Saul, son of Kish, was given from among them. But when they looked for him, he had disappeared. So they asked the Lord, where is he? And the Lord replied, he is hiding among the baggage. He is hiding among the baggage. And the people, and the word of God for the people of God is hiding among the baggage. You may have your seats. Hiding among the baggage.
Yes.
The American Psychological Association defines an inferiority complex as a basic feeling of inadequacy and insecurity, deriving from actual or imagined physical or psychological deficiencies. At its core, it is a feeling used to denote strong sense of being less than. That's a quote I like to use from the late great Kobe Bean Bryant. It's one of my son's favorite players. He says this, he says, I have self-doubt, I have insecurity, I have a fear of failure. I have nights when I show up at the arena and I'm like, my back hurts, my feet hurts, my knees hurt. I don't feel like doing it today. I just want to chill. We all have self-doubt. You don't deny it, but you also don't succumb to it. You don't surrender to it. You have to embrace it. So I know a lot of you all are asking right now, well, Pastor, what are you talking about? I want to talk about something that's in many of our bags that's holding us down.
Hold it from Sean.
Many of us have insecurities in our bags. And we don't want to admit it. We like to carry the bag because it looks good. We like to carry this with us because it's easy to carry, and it's better to conceal than many of these right here. So what we'll do is we'll keep carrying it. See, what insecurity is an uncertainty or an anxiety about oneself, a lack of confidence. And in today's text, what arises today is the rise and fall of King Saul. The rise and fall of King Saul. As we take a didactic walk through the scripture and dissect the passage, I want us to all examine ourselves and admit that we all have insecurities. We all have wrestled with some things that we are not proud of. But the truth of the matter is that God does not have a problem with us having insecurities. The problem happens when our securities have us. Thinking we are less than what God has called us to be. Look at the text. First of all, you have to go to the beginning. And you have to see in 1 Samuel, the 10th chapter, verse 1, that God had told Samuel, that he was going to give them a new king. Y'all know the story. The Israelites, they want to be like everybody else. They want to be like all the other nations. So they cry out, we want a king. We want a king, God. God says, but you know what, family? That was a very disrespectful prayer. Because God said, I've been your king all along. You want to look like everybody else. You want to look like the Joneses. You don't know what the Joneses do behind the closed door. You want to be like other nations. You don't know that I'm not even with this other nation. I'm with you. But you want a president that's charismatic. You want a pastor that's charismatic with no power. All right. I'll give you what you asked for. Because he loves you, I'm going to give you what you asked for. But let me tell you something. We're going to go a little deeper. Let me get a little deeper. See, average is easy. It's easy to be average. It's easy to fit in the middle. You better stay out my sermon. It's easy to sit in the pews and don't allow God to usually give it. It's easy to sit in the pews or in the peanut quarter and always say, this church don't have this church don't have that. That pastor don't do this, that pastor don't do that. It's easy. But it's hard to step up front and do what God called you to do. They can't teach, but won't you teach? Did God give you that gift? Don't hide behind the luggage. Don't hide. Stand up and do what God called you to do. Don't go to that big old mega church and hide in and blend in with millions of people so you won't have to get out front and use your gift because you're more noticeable now. Come here. Where now accountability will take effect. If you miss it, I know you miss it. You can't hide here. This is your season. God is intentional. So look, it's so easy to be a backseat driver. I hate backseat drivers. I hate individuals that get in my truck, get in the back of my truck and tell me how to drive. I'm going too slow. I'm in the wrong lane, and I should be going this direction. I hate that. Because listen, if you want to drive, take the wheel. I know I won't get no amen about that, but anyway, so it's easy to say no. It's easy to say no in my family, and it's easy to be paralyzed by fear and failure. God never intends us to stay in a less than position, being comfortable, hiding, and not coming forth to be what God has called us to be, family. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So in our text today, we see the prophet Samuel. He took a flask. If you look at the chapter 1, in the 1 Samuel chapter 1, we see that the prophet Samuel, he comes. You know, he already been crying. He's been crying because he don't want to get another king. So he cried to God. God says, listen, I already picked someone. I already chose someone.
Come on.
So now the prophet Samuel, and everybody knows when the prophet Samuel came, he had a word. So now the prophet Samuel comes, he anoints Saul in private. See, if you look at chapter 1 in verse 1 Samuel, you'll see in chapter 10 that it is only Saul and Samuel in the dialogue that's going on at this moment. So Saul is talking, prophet Samuel is talking to Saul, and he takes the flask and he anoints him. He says, God is going to appoint you as his king over his chosen people. So now, you have just been appointed by the man of God who got the word from God, and now he has to continue going on his mundane tasks. So Miss Pam, now he's going down in the valley and he's looking for some lost donkeys. And so everybody in this village is looking for these lost donkeys. And so he goes to these individuals and they tell him what they're looking for. But in the midst of this, Saul goes to the school of prophets. These individuals that prophesied, God leads him to the school of prophet, and now Saul starts prophesying. And everybody's looking around and they're saying, Son's a prophet? When did son become a prophet?
Come on now.
And if you read the Bible, and it says that was a saying then. They said, where now is Saul a prophet? Because what God was doing was, he was equipping him on the world, on the walk, on the journey. On the journey. He had them looking for some lost donkeys. I want to say something else, some lost donkeys. Like some of us are lost. And he says, listen, I'm going to have you looking for some lost people, and you're going to lead them. So a lot of times what happens is, let me take a break for the cause. A lot of times we look at the small things and don't understand God is training us in those things. We want to be on TVN, on the big vision. But God says, I want you right here in this library to help and be faithful with the small things. So I want to see, can you go and help these people find their donkeys? So he's doing obedient work. Now he's going to his school of prophecy. Now he's beginning to prophesy. And so now he goes down, and Samuel, he calls all the people into the village. And so now it says that when he anointed him, he appointed his head for the special position in 1 Samuel 1. And when Samuel makes this declaration to God, his people, about Saul being their new king, he is nowhere to be found. Freedom. He's nowhere to be found. Samuel and the people are looking for their new king, wondering where he is. So they asked the Lord. Prophet Samuel said, Lord, where is this guy? What's up, Lord? You told me that he's the new king. And the Lord replied to him, he's here. He's here hiding behind the baggage. He's here. He's hiding behind the equipment. He's hiding behind these things. But your king is right there. Oh, here's my question to you today. What baggage are you hiding behind? Your baggage could be some emotional baggage. Whatever it is that is keeping you from walking in the divine plan of God, today is your season to be liberated. Come from behind that baggage. God is saying, whatever this baggage is, you must not only get from behind it, but you must stand up and trust God. If you look at the text, now once look at the text 21 and 22, you see that now he stands up. And it says when he stands up, he's head and shoulders above the rest. He's head and shoulders above the rest. And so now we see that it's now listen, first of all, I want to tell you, I'm not trying to minimize your misery.
Ooh, that's good.
I don't want to tell you that the hurt isn't real. Because whatever you're going through, it is real. I want to be real to you there. Okay? But what I want you to know is that if God is for us, who could ever be against us?
Come on, sir.
If God has called you to do a task, to do he said in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord.
Yeah, right.
So it doesn't matter what your inadequacies may be. He wants your availability. I just want to help somebody today. So the baggage is real, but the power of our God and the faith in God can move mountains. Nothing is impossible for you. So we see in 1 Samuel, that's my first point, I'm almost done. There was a private encounter in 1 Samuel 10 and 1. And then it went to a public proclamation. This is what I love about God. He'll give you the desires of your heart and his family. He'll whisper sweet promises and dreams within your heart, within your spirit. And he'll tell you, brother, this is what I have for you. In private, in your secret closet, he'll talk to you. But then, if you don't rush God and you trust God, in your due season, he'll make the proclamation public to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Once again, you got to look at the scripture. Look. It says he gives us the public proclamation. So in 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 20, it says, so Samuel brought all the tribes of Israel before the Lord. And the tribe of Benjamin was chosen by lots. So now the public proclamation was brought before his people. And now they had lots. Lots is something that they would do like with a stick. And we would probably call it today is like shooting dice. I mean, I'm playing dice, whatever it rolled on. So they would have this stick and a sheet. And when they're doing these lots, whatever it landed on, that's what was supposed to be the judgment of what was going forward. So they was playing, the lots was cast out. And the tribe of Benjamin was chosen. Then he brought each family of the tribe of Benjamin before the Lord. And the family of Machrites was chosen. And finally, Saul's son of Kish, was chosen from among them. But when they looked for him, he had disappeared. So we see that this was already predestined. Because it wasn't a list, a promotion list that had to be with his name on it. The only name was there was Saul. Nowhere in the text we see other names for this position. We see other tribes. But some of you all are asking, what is the significance of Benjamin? What is the significance of these tribes? I'm glad you asked. Because someone right now want to know, why me? Why you chose me? Let's look at the text again, family. The tribe of Benjamin before the Lord was a tribe. First of all, I want you to understand that Israel is made up of two sections. Okay, when you look at the Bible, Israel is made up of two sections: the northern section and the southern section. Okay, the southern section is Judah. It's Judah, okay? All right, and so when we see Israel, it's the northern section. And so listen, Benjamin is in the middle.
Ooh.
Benjamin was a place, it was a rough place. The terrain, just like Lebanon. Lebanon, if anybody got a house in Lebanon, they know we end up on rocks. When I first got my son is a landscaper, he can attest to it. When I first got tough storm, come on now. So when I first got here, I was like, man, I got more rocks than I have grass. It's because it's built. Lebanon is they call it the cities of Lebanon, the cedars of Lebanon. It's more on a mountain valley, and so it's hard. And so this is what Benjamin was. Benjamin didn't fit in with the north or the south. Benjamin didn't fit in with Israel, and it didn't fit in with Judah. Judah means praise. So it was in between this family. I'm glad you said that. You don't fit in either. So listen. Benjamin, he had to pick somebody from Benjamin because Benjamin was people that was made to be hard because of their surroundings, because of their situations. They can handle stress. They were outcasts. They were. See, that's the foolishness of God. Some of y'all are foolish. That's the amazement of God. He'll take something. He'll take nothing and make something out of it. He'll take an ordinary person and do extraordinary things. So Benjamin was very significant. That tribe, you are very significant.
Take your time. That's good.
So why did he pick me? He picked me from Hopkinville, Kentucky to do this? Nobody don't even know about about that? You know why I did that? Because I created you with something that they don't have. They can't handle the task that I'm sending you to do.
Hallelujah.
That's your testimony. Why are you different? Don't ever try to fit in.
Thank you, Lord.
And see, they say Saul was head and shoulders above the rest. Why are you're bigger than everything in the room, but you hide. You're larger than life, but you hide. You have just been appointed by the man of God, and you hide. And we wonder why. We're wondering why we don't have the things that we desire to have in life. It's because you're hiding.
Jesus.
You can't. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. If you're not willing to step out on faith and do what God called you to do, you don't love me.
Help us. Help us.
You don't trust me.
Jesus.
And I created you. So you'll be like that fig tree. I'm coming to get my fruit, but you have nothing for me to eat. I'm coming to get what I expect from you, and you're giving me no return. There's no sense for you to even be here.
This is good.
Am I helping somebody? I want you to dig in your bag today. See the whole thing about baggage, it depends what it is. Some people don't want to get rid of their relationship because their relationship, it feels good to you. So you hide it, but you're not growing. So you carry that bag around, you carry those things around, and you're fine with that, but you get because it's benefiting to you. But now you got to enter into a space where it's limited, and that can't go.
Oh, Lord.
So, that might not be. Let me go over here. See. Some people might be like my homegirl from Dallas, Texas, Oakland. My homegirl Erica Badu. She had a song called "Bad Lady," and this song. See, y'all know that y'all know. So she had this song called "Bad Lady," and it says, "Bad Lady, why you carrying those bags with you? You gonna miss your.
You got too much stuff.
Come on. Come on, girl. You got too much stuff. Some of us are missing our destiny because we got too much stuff that we're trying to take with us from our past. Come on. I'm glad you said that. So what is it that's delaying you? God it's all about kairos. It's all about timing. You can't take all this with you. Miss Pam, if you know my wife like I do, if you know my wife, I may need to come stay with you tonight, bro. You got an extra room. If you know my wife, y'all know when it's time for us to go on trips.
Don't put my business in them streets.
When it's time, hallelujah. So listen.
Don't you let Pastor get you in trouble.
Listen. When it's time to go on trips, y'all, my wife has a bag for shoes. She got a bag for purses. She got a bag for shades. And she got outfits. And hey, me, I'm good. That's all I got.
And now you was something ahead.
So now listen, I'm going through the airport with all this stuff. She walking in front, giving me directions. Come on, why you taking too long? I got all this stuff, and I'm trying to run like OJ Simpson through the airport. Because I got all this for her. And then she's like, well, baby, I date changed. You better hurry up. So now I got to change direction because I got to change direction and carry all this because you don't know how to operate within the task of 7 days. So because you can't trust your choices, you got to take everything. You can't trust your own choices so that we will be prepared for any direction or any change that may come about. hiding behind. Get from around that and get up from it and move on. So we see that as Saul is hiding behind these things, that's the reason why he's hiding, because he feels like he's inadequate. Because the word says, he says, listen, isn't my tribe the smallest of tribes? The smallest of people with nothing. Why are you asking me to do this? Because I'm God. I created you. Next question.
You better help us today.
And first of all, Neo, he ain't gonna let you fail because you represent him. He's not gonna discredit himself. He's not gonna write a check that's gonna bounce. If God called you to do it, he's gonna give you the grace and the strength to finish it. He would never put too much on you that you can handle. And so another thing is this. I spent 21 years in the Army. And this today, I was sleeping this. But normally, in my MOS, the things I had to do, this thing would be weighing 90 pounds.
Wow.
I would have radio in here. I would have to have changing clothes in here. I would have to have all kinds of stuff. My pack used to be about 90 pounds. My kit, I call it a kit. But then I have LWFWC flat vest, and I don't have close to 100 pounds on my little back, my friend. I'm not the only one. We got some females that was in the Army could do the same thing. Had to run 12 marches, 12 miles in Rome. And not only that, I jumped out of aircraft. I got over 100 jumps. I jumped out combat mode in Hollywood out of aircraft with this, and then at the hump.
Yes.
But the problem is, a lot of times, once I got to the destination, and if it was a training exercise, I would tell all my soldiers to put your bag on the ground and now respect it.
Finding pillows.
Because I want to find out what's in your bag.
Come on.
Because they knew it was a training event, but what if it wasn't? What if it was a real thing? So they want to pack lightly so they can go through it and don't hurt themselves. And so everybody else is sweating and everybody else hurting, but you walk around, you don't even help your buddy because you got a pillow in your bag. Right. So now your supervisor, your first sergeant, your platoon sergeant has to check your bag because I want to make sure you're getting stressed like everybody else. Because that's purpose of the weight. That's purpose. Don't cheat yourself. Because if we jump into a rack, we can't jump in there with some tennis shoes and some flip-flops and that's it. We got to be ready to survive for months until somebody else comes with us. So you never know what you may need in your bag. But the problem is when you pack in your bag according to your own packing list and not God. When I'm packing according to what I want to make sure I got my PlayStation. I want to make sure I got my Funyuns. I want to make sure I got my Doritos. I want to make sure I got some Sprite. I want to make sure, now I'm going to say this, but this ain't me no more. I want to make sure I got my porn magazine. I want to make sure, y'all talking to somebody. Because that's somebody's bag.
That's right.
It is.
I want to take all this and that. But wait a minute, that wasn't on that wasn't on the packing list of God. That's access. That's access. Now you don't have room for your Bible, which should have been the first thing. You wanted all this other stuff that's extra, and then when you go through the trials and tribulations in the desert, now you wonder why this weight is too heavy and you can't make it. You didn't pack your Bible first. You weighed yourself down with stuff that you wanted that is not conducive for this environment. Who am I talking to? You keep saying, I want to be a millionaire. I want this. I want my own business. Well, what's delaying you is because what you packing. You packing negativity. You still hearing stuff, voices from your mom and daddy calling you this and calling you that from your past. You still packing old relationships that when people broke up with you and now you're blaming other people and now you can't carry the good to make our journey less stressful. So what we're going to do is, through this series, we're going to examine our baggage. We're going to examine the things that in all actuality, it's not God who's slowing you down, it's you. Saul, why are you hiding? Why are you hiding? Standing all over the building. Why are you hiding?
Jesus.
Close your eyes. I want to talk to you. Is that you today? Is that you that's been walking around and your knees are hurting? Your ankles are hurting. You know why? You know why your joints are hurting? Because the weight that you're carrying is too heavy. It's too heavy. And so now it's starting to hurt every part of your body. Oh, let me talk to a man of God in here. The reason why your marriage is hurting is because of the heavy weight you're trying to carry. It's hurting. It's hurting your marriage. It's frustration in your marriage because you're trying to carry something that's too heavy for you to carry. Give it to God. Give it to God. The reason why your family is slowing down in this journey and they're not able to keep up with you is because you're giving them stuff that they're not prepared to carry in those bags. You got to even out the load. You got to make sure that they're ready to carry that. That may be too heavy for them. Put that in your backpack. You carry that. You got to evenly distribute this so our family can go together. Who am I talking to today?
Come on, Pastor.
Is it anybody that has been broken? And you're still carrying